When was the last time you were snooping, and found something you wish you hadn't?
I was around 7 or 8, snooping in my mom and dad's closet. I found a file with some papers, including my birth certificate. It had my sister's name as my mom, and for dad it said, unknown. So, that was my first indication I was being raised by my grandparents. Yeah, that was a pretty crappy day.
Damn. That's a tough way to find out. Did you raise it with them that day?
No, I just kept it to myself, but later that same year they told me about it, and explained everything.
They knew.
Somebody's been in my shit.
What did that do to your relationship with your sister mom?
It really screwed it up. In my opinion, I was too young for this type of revelation, and didn't have the maturity/knowledge/etc. to properly process it. I was 8 years old, and felt like everyone who mattered to me had lied to me. I felt like it was mean joke that everyone was in on, but me. As my brother, uncle, told me years later, I became a very angry child after that, and acted out quite a lot. I'm still in contact with my bio mom, but we really don't have much of a relationship. But it's all good.
Do you know how old your sister was at the time of your birth?
Yes, she was 17. From what I've been told, she had an after-school job at a diner, met an older college-aged guy, got jiggy, got pregnant, he vanished.
I wasn't snooping, but I used my wife's laptop one day because my computer was dead. I found that she had a secret email account, and was active on a lesbian dating site.
Did you ever bring it up to her?
Yes. It was an awkward conversation. She's now my ex-wife.
I'm a girl. My boyfriend at the time left his email open, and I saw that he was responding to ads on Craigslist, and Backpages.com to meet up with, I don't even know what PC terminology is anymore, transsexual women. I always felt like he flirted with the idea of being with a guy, but was super outwardly homophobic. We broke up eventually, for kind of unrelated reasons, and I saw that he's been recently in vacation in Thailand. I know what's up.
He just wanted to Bangkok.
Heyo.
That story has a happy ending.
That city lives up to its name.
One day I came home from work early, and my husband had gone out, and left some very questionable torrents downloading, which led me down a rabbit hole of deceit and craziness that I never would have thought he was capable of.
What torrents was he downloading?
Gay porn, sissification, hypnosis, and some other weird stuff.
To be honest, that's not as bad as where I thought that led.
Nickelback, Korn, Creed, etc.
Why did he not hypnotize you, make you forget what you saw?
Because the download wasn't complete yet.
I want to Google sissification, but I have no idea what it is, and don't want my girlfriend to see it in my history.
It's like these instructional videos on how to turn a guy into a sissy.
Was reformatting a guy's laptop in the barracks back in my army days. The guy was really stupid. We were in information technology training for one thing, and he should have been more than able to do it himself, but that's besides the point. So my buddy and I go into his room, and mostly plan to reformat his laptop, and with it, the whole turning the picture upside down, screen capping the desktop, and rotating it, stuff like that. But just before we wiped the laptop, we found loads of child porn. Like, terabytes of it. When we called him over, and asked him what the this was, he was proud of it. He said,
Nah. Dude, it's cool, look. She loves it.
It was at this point when I had to restrain my buddy from literally throwing this guy out the third-floor window, while 2 others helped this guy to the sergeant's desk. He had some difficulty with the stairs.
What in the Did he go to jail?
Last we heard he was dragged off for a court-martial, but I guarantee he's rotting in prison somewhere. This was just before I got out of the army, so my information is very limited. Still super f***ed up though, it was like he wanted us to see it.
Oh, man. I was at a friend's house, and he left me for an hour, or so to pick up some other friends from a train station about an hour away. I figured I'd be cool, and surprise everyone with a few joints when they got in. I was rolling on his dad's PC desk when my roach kind of slips under the keyboard. So when I lift the keyboard there is a bit of paper stuck to the bottom with the password written on it. He has a smoking hot mom, so I decided to perv it. Instantly regrettable. A search for pictures yielded like hundreds of pics of his dad in women's clothing stashed in a hidden folder called medical records. I shut down the PC, and never spoke about it to anyone. I have not seen my friend in a fair few years, but I hope for the sake of his family it's all still hidden. His dad is some big-time financial director for a well-known supermarket chain. I don't really know how it would affect his career if everything got out.
My mom's dildo.
Your mother needs love, too. When I'm not there.
Wait, you visit her as well? Yesterday. My roommate ditched out of state right before rent is due, so naturally I am curious how he left his room, and whatnot. Got more than I bargained for. Room is a disaster, beer bottles, and food all over, but the thing that got me most was his anal vibrator, and a huge pile of wads. If I ever see him again, I may just go to prison.
Hire an investigator, find his parents' address, send it all to them with a note. Your son left his stuff when he bailed on paying rent.
Oh, I like that idea the most, so far, thank you, so much.
He didn't take his anal vibrator with him? That seems odd.
Weird, right?
What's an asshole?
He must be shaking.
Condoms in Dad's backpack. He only uses the backpack when he's on business trips.
It might not be what you think. Maybe it's something innocent, like he likes to jerk off into condoms then suck the jizz out of them.
I found some condoms missing from my boyfriend's stash. A woman confides in her male friend. When I confronted him, he said sometimes he masturbates into them to save the myth. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I do that all the time.
Said the friend. Really? You masturbate into condoms, too?
No. I lied to my girlfriend.
Your parents might think they're hiding the condoms from the kids by putting them somewhere weird, like Dad's travel bag. They'll never look there.
I applaud any parents that are still using condoms. That shit is effort.
You know what's more effort? More kids/abortions.
I found a friend's Reddit profile. I found out how lonely and depressed he feels all the time despite appearing to be one of the happiest and most outgoing person I know. I definitely make sure I include him in any plans we do if I can. I never told him that I found it.
You're a good person.
You da real MVP.
You're awesome, but now I'm worried that someone found mine, and isn't as nice as you.
My ex-girlfriend used to snoop through all of my stuff, and I never ever even glanced at her phone when it would ring. One time she really pissed me off for one reason, I don't recall, and decided to snoop through her desktop. Found pictures and videos of her and her best male friend. It was from years ago prior to my relationship with her, so it wasn't a big relationship changer, but still. Wish I hadn't known or seen that.
People who are technically my equals at work get paid more than me. But yet they introduce me as,
oh, this is so-and-so, he's our main guy.
Ask for a raise, and if not, start looking around.
already doing both.
A couple years ago, at my old job, the time came for our quarterly raises. Mine was pretty shitty, and I wasn't too happy. I went to grab the printout of my new pay rate, and saw one of the new employees' printouts underneath it. His raise, while still minuscule, was almost twice what mine was, and his hourly rate was higher too. I was pissed. He had only been there a couple months, he had less knowledge of the products we sold. We were salespeople at a major wireless carrier. He was late/absent all the time, but since he had an outgoing personality, and enjoyed bullshitting with the customers, I guess he was more valuable to the company. I quit shortly after that.
Yeah, let's not forget you incredibly beneficial that outgoing quality can be. Sucks for us. I hope nobody talked to me today. Types.
I was about 7 or 8 years old snooping around my parents' room, and found an original copy of The Joy of Sex. An entire book of ugly, hairy people climbing on top of one another. Sex became a scary, nauseating thought after that experience.
Oh god, I found that at our cabin when I was like 14. It was fascinating and I can't look away from a train wreck way. I remember marveling that the drawings were so ill-informed and anatomically sound, but so lifeless.
Sounds like pretty good abstinence education in my opinion. Don't let hairy sex happen to you. Found out my ex was cheating on me. Ironically, I only snooped because I wanted to put my mind at ease. I know, nothing is going on, but I can't shake this feeling of impending doom, so I'll just check, and reassure myself. Haha, I was naive. Edit, I've read all of your stories, and so many of them end positively. It's so heartening. I wish you all lots of happy times with people who love and respect you.
I've done the same thing. She left her phone in my car, and I got a feeling like I should check it. I'd had 100 opportunities before to check her phone, but never felt the urge. I've always figured there was something about her behavior that triggered some kind of subconscious suspicion that caused me to check it. It's not like I went through all her text messages, or anything either, just the last few texts and the most recently updated conversations.
That's exactly what I did. It was a coworker of his, and the way he talked about her made me uncomfortable. Also, whenever she hung out with us she made no effort to interact with me at all, and I always kind of felt like a third wheel with my own boyfriend. If she was already there when I came over, she'd sort of fall silent, and they both looked slightly guilty. I asked him about it a couple of times, very calmly mind you, and he always got defensive, and started moping because I didn't trust him. Turns out he was a pretty good liar, lol, but very dumb to leave me bored in a waiting room with nothing but his phone to entertain myself.
I found my sister's double-ended, penis-shaped dildo, thereafter referred to as the double dick. I showed it to other kids whenever I could.
Double-bladed like Darth Maul.
Did his sister die by being cut in half while having the high ground?
Reading my husband's, at the time roommates, Facebook messages when we were just roommates. Many of them were about the crazy girl he lived with, and how much he hated her. Broke my heart honestly. But it was my fault for looking. I was the crazy girl. Medicated, and happily married now.
I checked my dad's computer history when I was in high school, accidental snooping. I was actually trying to find a site I had been on recently. Tons of gay porn came up. Life has never been the same since that day.
Oh. No, Papa.
Papa, yes.
Ugh, so it's not even technically snooping, but on your Snap story you can see who's viewed your snaps. I never used to look, but out of curiosity I checked. My ex watches all my snaps, and most of them are me with my fiancé doing fun shit. It kind of depressed me a little cause he never moved on and found someone else, and here he is watching me happy as shit without a care in the world. Part of me says, he needs to just move on, and the other part of me is convinced he's going to die single, childless, and lonely.
That's not on you. He needs to sort his shit in the nicest possible way.
Yeah. I know he does, but he's 29, and still in a boy band, so I don't really see that happening anytime soon. Edit, there's nothing wrong with being in a band, in fact that's actually pretty cool. But when you're 29, covering Backstreet Boys songs, and missing work for gigs that don't pay cause.
We're getting pretty big, this might go somewhere.
The band has been around 10 years, and their biggest gig was like 100 people. No, it's not going anywhere, it starts to get a little out of hand.
Time for him to grow up and join a man band.
Ha ha ha.
The Backstreet Men would probably attract a decent following. Might have to change into being something other than a band though.
Snooped on my boyfriend's phone whilst he was sleeping. Found that he was suggesting sex and massages from a former friend of mine who actually looks like a Komodo dragon with a blonde wig.
Haha, nice description.
Bandmate had bestiality porn with his girlfriend, on the laptop we were recording on. Made conversations with her. A mental relay race, of trying to avoid dog puns.
That must have been rough.
Found out someone I knew was a sex offender.
I went on a blind date with this guy about maybe 2 years ago. Recently, I was looking through the sex offender registry near me, and I found him there. He slept with a minor.
My phone was dead one night, so I asked to use my sister's phone. After doing what I needed to, I took some stupid pictures on it. Went through to see which ones I wanted to keep to screw with her. Ended up seeing my nudes there. Yup. My nudes. I just left them, and moved on.
Whoa. Wait, hold the f up. Where did she get your nudes?
I don't know. This was like a week ago, and I haven't sent a nude on Snapchat, or anything like that in 6 or so months. So I don't know honestly, so I guess it's a confidence boost? I don't really care what she gets off to be honest with you.
She might have sent them from your phone to hers, or someone might have gotten a hold of them, and sent them to her as a joke, or as a
Haha. Holy shit.
type thing. Furthermore, she may be holding onto them for blackmail purposes, buddy.
Hopefully it's because one of her friends thinks you're hot, and dared her to sneak some pics of you?
I hope so, honestly.
Not necessarily snooping, but my brother was letting me look at pictures of his daughter's birth. Scrolled a little too far, and ended up seeing my niece coming out of sister-in-law's vagina. Oh, well.
Looking for food, or something that I can't remember in my mom's closet. Found a small box with a hospital seal on it, and found that my mom had a miscarriage before me, and my brother.
My dad and I have a bad relationship. One time he and my mom went out of town for a weekend, and I had the house to myself. Found his iPad, went through his emails, most of which were with either his brother or sister. Pieced together that the reason my dad doesn't like / has a self-righteous attitude towards my aunt is because she accused their father of sexually abusing her, and my dad didn't believe her, and turned the family against her. My grandpa did the same crap to me when he'd visit us every summer, and I've never told my parents, and now I never will.
Sexual abuse survivor here. I know families have their untold secrets, and info like that can be hard to disclose, especially after seeing that. I encourage you to at least talk to a counselor, or trusting family member about it. Can be a world of help.
My ex became my best friend of 9 years. A year after we split up, she claimed to have been raped, and enlisted my help to see her get a restraining order, and help her to press charges. I was busy running a large company, and the amount of evidence she sent me was too much to process, so I simply had her tell me what happened when helping her to file the reports. This past March she said some things that made me question our entire friendship. I went back through all the conversations, including those I found from when she was using my computer, old chat logs, and found out she had lied about the whole thing, and had attempted to ruin the guy's life. I then found a conversation where she had talked with a guy she was dating at the time about using my credit card to fund a trip of hers, as they believed I wouldn't even notice. What the f***? Of course I would. Point is, that someone I saw as a sister from another mister had never truly been my friend at all, and was a horrible person from the start. That, and her most recent behavior showed me she hadn't changed at all, and that I had basically been duped by her damsel in distress game she plays so well for 9 years. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and ring the notification bell.